I fought October 17th, and I always knew that every fight is gonna get better and better. And first and foremost, I want to thank Top Rank, Todd the Buff. I want to thank all the staff, everybody, for even getting me on that card, because that was big exposure for me. You know, I shocked the world once again with another first round knockout with a guy that's never been knocked out. And I feel like the October 17th fight really took off for me. I caught a lot of people's attention, in the music industry, a lot of celebrities, and news media as well. I just got on Despierta America. It's one of the biggest Spanish national television shows in the morning. They just aired the news today. So it's just been amazing, man, since October 17th. I wanted to be on this card December 12th. I wanted to end the year with a bang.
Thank you very much, Edgar. Now we are going to get to our first question, and that comes from Jake Donovan, boxing scene. Jake, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Great. Thank you very much, Evan. Edgar, before I ask my official questions, a lot of my boys want to know, where the hell are you going that you're paying $150 for a haircut?
Nah, I should have said how much you guys pay for haircuts at home, because that's like a home haircut for me. I wouldn't pay $150 for a haircut at the barbershop. I'll probably pay the most $50.
Okay.
But I got people mixed up. People was like, what the hell? Like, he's paying $150 for a haircut. Well, it's a home haircut. The guy comes with his equipment, he takes care of me. I'm home with my slippers on, boxers, whatever, and he's cutting me.
I got you. So my brother-in-law owns a fade shop in Long Island. He was ready to jump on a train and hook you up for half that price. But anyway, so onto this fight this weekend. I know a lot of people, they constantly make a big deal, like, when we're going to see Edgar Berlanga push past the first round. It's obviously not your fault that these fights, that you're not making it to that far. But even with these first round knockouts, what do you feel like you can show differently this weekend that we haven't yet seen?
The same listen, man, the same thing as always, poise, use my jab, use my movement. I got great boxing ability that the world haven't seen yet. Only the people that's behind closed doors, that's behind the scenes with me, that's in the gym with me every day, they know what I have, and the world haven't seen that. They only seen the first round. So, I'm just looking to showcase my skill once again, man, and, shock the world. Hey, if I go into the second round, okay, I'm going to continue to do what I do best. And I'm going for the win, man. I'm aiming to look spectacular Saturday night. Like I said, shock the world.
Yeah, very cool. And then I wanted to ask, I know you're not looking past this weekend, but Canelo Alvarez, he's ready to plant his flag in the 168-pound division. That means a lot of the guys are probably going to be waiting in line to get a shot at him. What do you believe you can do? Like, I'd say even within the next 12 months to become like that second winning guy in this division. And then Todd, I'm going to kind of
just continue to do what I'm doing. Puerto Rico haven't seen nothing like it before. Trinidad even told me, there's been a lot of great fighters coming out of Puerto Rico, but there haven't been a guy that's 168, that's 6'2", Puerto Rican from New York, that could box, that could punch, that has all the attributes to become a star in the sport. I have different varieties of a fan base. I have the Black American people. I have my Puerto Rican people from Puerto Rico. I have the guys out here from New York. And it's just a big thing, man. I'm not looking just to target my island, because eventually I'm gonna gain the island. I'm looking to target the whole world, man. I want to go down the block and go to a bakery, and I walk into a bakery, and the people that work at the bakery knows who I am, and that's my goal.
Very cool. So Todd, you thinking big picture all the time. How do you get Edgar to that position, especially since he's blowing for guys in 2 minutes or less every time out?
I think the key to that is when we fight with this all the time, and it's you fight with the right matches at the right time and finding when he's step up. I was on the phone with Edgar's manager Keith for a long time, and we were discussing it, and I've seen this. You get to with the greats. It was when Mayweather wanted to fight, his father wanted to fight Gennaro Hernandez, right? He still needed to take what's the guy's name? I think his name was Tony Pep was the name. I think it was the guy that took him 12 rounds or something like that. He was, and he needed to give him the distance fights. And when Cotto was coming up, it was like, I would say to Bruce, I said, hey, you know, could he fight Justin Juco? And he's like, yeah, he could fight him for 6 rounds. I've never seen him fight more than 6 rounds, right? So I think with Edgar, you know, he has to stick to what his fundamentals are, is just on his ability, do what's right for him, right? And figure out, you know, we'll try to get him the right matches at the right time and find the right balance there. You know, I don't think we don't want to hold him back, but yet on the other hand, he has to, you know, he needs to know what it's to get off the stool in the 4th and 5th round, right? And have the water bucket, the water there, and all those things. So those things I'm going to lead with our matchmakers, and obviously working with Edgar and Keith and his team. From a marketability standpoint, you know, like I've always said to you, we're not big at chasing money, we're big at creating money. So I'm not going to chase money for him like any other guy that we think is going to be, you know, is going to be the future and an attraction in the sport. I'm going to just activate our team and activate the platforms that we're with, and our partnership with ESPN and our staff to create money around him. That people want to see him, the whole island stops, and boom, they see him. They stop for that. We've done it before. And Madison Square Garden just blows off the lid like Cotto and Zab Judah did, right? That's what we dream for. So I think we have to balance the two things. And I think, yeah, he's got a great start right now. And I think exciting stuff is ahead of us.
Great. Thanks so much, Todd. Edgar, best of luck this weekend. Great to have you back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. And now next we go from ESPN.com, Reggie Woodson. Reggie, please unmute and ask your question when ready.
Thanks, Wood from Bite Down Boxing. How you doing, Edgar?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Look, you know, you don't have the worst group of friends in comparison to some fighters that we see out there, but you know, with guys like Fat Joe, Tracy Morgan, do you find their encouragement of you towards boxing in your career? Do you find it realistic according to boxing standards?
Yeah, you know, like Joe, man, we always talking about boxing, man. Or Tracy, you know, we always, every time we get together, man, it's about the sport. It's about me being focused and staying focused, because they've seen fighters, you know, like myself, you know, make it to a certain point, you know, and get caught up in the limelight and just get caught up in bullshit, and their career just drifts down. You know, it's a blessing, man, to have these type of people around me, and they not just around me, they're like really with me. You know, they call me from day-to-day basis to check up on me, check up how I'm doing. You know, if training camp is going well, I'm training hard, how I'm physically, mentally, spiritually doing. You know, and it's an amazing feeling.
And my apologies, Reggie. I got confused. Eric Woodyard covers some boxing for ESPN, so my apologies, Reggie. So yeah, apology for the confusion. We go to the next question. Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, please unmute and ask your question when ready.
Hi, Edgar. I saw a quote, I think it was with BoxingScene.com, where you talked about having to pay extra to get Ulysses to fight with you. Is that something that's occurred before, or is that something that you're starting to see now? And what does that tell you?
Yeah, you know, fighters is gonna want to get paid more now. You know, they're not just gonna want to jump in the ring with me for chump change. You know, it happens to the best, man. You know, just like now, like I said, you know, now I'm starting camp. Well, I ended camp now, and for this next camp, you know, we're gonna be looking into flying a couple fighters out, man, because, you know, and starting to have to pay people, because now fighters is not just gonna jump in there with me to take punishment.
Looking at him on film, and as far as what you see of Sierra on film, what are your impressions of him in the film that you've seen?
You know, I've studied him. My team studied him. My dad studied him. You know, he's a perfect fighter for me. You know, he's mile high. I believe he's 6'1". You know, he stays right there. You know, he doesn't have quite a big, you know, good foot movement, man. But for me, he's a perfect opponent for the 12.
Thank you very much, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. And next up, we go to J.R. Bell. J.R., before you go, just a reminder again, raise hand function or send me a direct message in the chat. J.R., please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir.
All right, there. One question. Given the amount of fights that you've had this year that have been first round knockouts, and you've been talking about, getting better and working with your coach, Andre Rozier, what do you think that you need to kind of like focus on for this particular fight going into 2021?
Just to continue, man, just getting experience. And, if I'm not getting the rounds in the fight, we look forward, to getting more rounds in sparring. My main thing right now is to just stay in the gym, man, stay training, stay in shape, and get in the rounds, man, and sparring. I'm not doing multiple rounds in the fight, but in the gym behind closed doors, I'm going 12 rounds with 3 different sparring partners. We switching up the sparrings. I'm going in there with heavier guys, cruiserweights. Sometimes they're throwing a heavyweight or a light heavyweight. I'm sparring big guys, man. And, for next year, man, we just looking at that, and also to get bigger fights, what I'm saying, to see if anybody could take me out of the first round, which eventually will happen. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I know that you were talking a little bit about possibly fighting Steve Nelson in the future. So we'll see how that happens. And thanks very much for your time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, JR. And now we go to ESPN.com. Ben Baby. Ben, off from Bengals coverage for the day. Please, you're unmuted. Please go ahead when ready, sir.
Yeah, hey, Edgar, just a real quick question. I know that you and Todd have kind of touched on this a little bit, and I know, sorry to keep kind of harping on this point, but at what point do you kind of say, okay, I'm ready to kind of maybe step up in opposition because I do need the rounds? And at what point do you kind of, is this a scenario where you ask Top Rank, hey, I'd like maybe some tougher opposition, or I'd like to be tested a little bit more? And when do you realistically think that's going to happen?
Sorry about that. We looking forward to next year, man, being a big year for us. Like I said, man, I'm 23 years old. I'm still young, and Rome wasn't built in a day, man. We doing it step by step, brick by brick, but next year we definitely looking forward to really stepping it up, possibly for the Puerto Rican Day weekend in New York. God winning, the MGM Grand is open. The MSG's open. We're looking for a bigger fight that day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ben. And we're going to go next. Juan Navarez. Let me see if I can find that. Nope, cannot find that. Hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second, Edgar. Hey, I think while we wait for the next question, Edgar, what have you seen? How much tape do you study? Like, is that something that you leave to Andre Rozier, or is tape study something that you are sort of intimately involved with when sort of prepping for an opponent?
Oh yeah, just like, it's different times I watch tape. Sometimes I watch tape on different fighters, just to pick up on certain things so I can add to my arsenal. That's another thing I do. But also, like, for the opponent, man, I don't like to just dwell on the tape, so, I watch a couple tapes, maybe 2 fights, and then I leave the rest to Andre and my dad, and they study that guy, they make sure, and they find the right game plan for us to utilize that night.
All right. And now we go to Ricardo Torres. Ricardo, I'm about to unmute you. Ricardo, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Yeah, thank you. Edgar, saludo.
Hey, saludo. Hola.
Hola, saludos para ti. Háblame sobre lo que significa poder cerrar este año, que ha sido un año importante para ti, con un combate, mantener impresionando, ¿no? Mantener creciendo, mantener dando buenas demostraciones, sin entrar en la cuestión de los rounds, que yo sé que no te encanta ya hablar mucho de ese tema, pero más que nada impresionar, demostrar crecimiento, demostrar madurez, demostrar progreso. ¿Cuán importante es eso para ti?
No, it's important for me right now. We're looking forward to this Saturday para hacer más round, and to look to get in the rounds, but like I said, I'm not taking my foot off the gas, If it goes past the second, then hey, good for that guy. But if not, then we're gonna continue to do what I do best.
And everybody, if you're asking a question in Spanish, please wait for Gardy Lopez to translate before allowing Edgar to speak. So just a heads up to all Spanish-speaking reporters, please let Gardy translate. Next up, we are going to go to Carlos Narvaez. Carlos, please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Edgar, and hi, Todd Duboff. Long time I don't see you. Edgar, my question is, tell us about how was your experience working here for first time, working in the island. How was that experience for you? And also, talk a little bit about your encounter with Tito Trinidad.
The experience on the island was amazing. I visited a lot of gyms in Puerto Rico, and I got to meet a lot of young fighters that's coming up. I've gotten the opportunity to speak to them, and just be a role model for them and be in their ear, and tell them to stay out the streets, and to just stay focused. Just being in the island, man, I was with my father, I was with my coach, I was with my team, my girl, and I had an amazing time. The people treated me very well. I went to Gimnasio de, Ivan Calderon, and then towards the end we met up with Tito Trinidad and his town, and Coupe Alto, and it was amazing, man. I got very emotional because this is the man that I idolized since I was a kid. He's one of the reasons why I started boxing, and having to meet him, it was very emotional for me. It was amazing. I've seen the kid. I mean, I've seen him, fighting at the age of 2 years old, and finally to get to meet that man, it was just amazing. I've been with a lot of celebrities, with a lot of big people in industries out there, but it was nothing like being with him.
Any important message that he give you?
Yeah, to stay focused, keep training hard, and to listen to my dad, listen to my team, and sky's the limit. He told me that him seeing me for the first time face to face, he already knew I was a humble kid, and he sees that my dad is in my corner, so he knows that I have a good head on my shoulders, and he told me that I'm gonna go far in the sport, that just to keep remaining focused.
Mm-hmm. So, when you saw Edgar Berlanga, what do you think about him? About like a prospect? You work with a lot of great fighters, like you said, like Miguel Cotto and other ones. So, do you feel that this guy will be the next star in this business?
Well, I mean, people. I appreciate the question, but people throw the word around star so easily, and one of the things we look at is you look at what are the skills or the assets that the athlete has, and do they have marketability? And obviously he has marketability, and then ability. On the ability side of it, he can flat out punch because everybody's just can't go 3 rounds. So we've seen that, but we also, we have to balance that, seeing the other skill sets he's going to have to show us, all of us in the ring, that when he starts having those longer fights, we're going to be able to see and a lot more of the arsenal that he has. And Edgar will tell you, we haven't seen everything that he can do because he's only been able to perform for under 3 minutes. So he probably has a lot of tricks in his bag, and I think he has all the attributes to do it. And it's exciting to be a part of that project. And when he was telling me he saw Tito Trinidad, I remember it was almost 21 years ago, this January, I went down and signed the entire 2000 Puerto Rican class with Cotto and Calderon and Fuchu and all of those guys. It seems like it was yesterday. And people, at that point, you know, Puerto Rico and boxing wasn't, it was, you know, people were like, yeah, it's big, but it's just Tito, it's this. And we believed in it because we had just done Tito and Oscar earlier in September. So I think, you know, he would be a great representative for the island, a great representative for Latin America. And Edgar has all the skill sets to do it. It's going to be up to him and at the end time.